How's it going, Niani?
Hello, pretty good. How are you?
Good. I'm okay. I was in court. I was afraid I was going to miss this, but then I forgot to tell you yesterday I might miss it. So. But I
Well,
made it.
well, that's good. I'm still a one-man show over here, so I'm trying to figure stuff out.
Okay. Well, you're doing a good job.
Ah, by the end of this month, I think we'll have some staff on board, so that's exciting.
Okay.
The council's gearing up in June.
Okay. So, okay. But I don't even, it's been so long. I don't even know what's going on. All I remember is I got a letter from Lisa Lee saying she was stepping down. So there's no chair. Are things in
The
flux?
governor just appointed a chair. Ooh, I should know his name because I met with him last week. Tim Robb.
Who's that?
He's the director of strategic initiatives for the governor's office.
Okay. All right.
So he's, I guess, the designee for that position.
Okay.
And he's also assigned to be the chair. He said he has people in mind because we still need a person who's experiencing or has experienced homelessness.
Okay.
So I'm fingers crossed we're trying to work and make sure all of the vacancies are filled by the June 21st meeting.
Okay. All right. But that's not going to be much of a meeting though, if this much stuff is still in flux, all right? It would just be introducing new people, that kind of thing. And there's
Because I sent him the agenda for the January meeting that didn't happen.
Mhm.
So he's like, well, let's put those presentations back on if you can get a hold of everybody and let's see that. I'm like, okay.
All right.
So we will see. Because obviously we have an open seat for the senator as well. Yeah, I think there's still 3 open seats.
Okay. So the senator, a person who's experienced homelessness, and then one other one.
Oh, no, I just got notification from the Washoe County Sheriff. They do have someone listed because they had the person retire. So we have 2 vacancies.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That's not so bad considering at the beginning of the month, I was like, well,
Yep.
oh,
Yeah. You know, it's just, our state's the same as a whole lot of other states, and that it sort of gets pushed down, the list of priorities when stuff keeps popping up, right? And so,
yes.
we're no different than anybody else, but,
And I know everybody's dealing with staffing issues and everything else. It
yeah,
just,
yeah. We have 90 vacant positions in the AG's office.
oh,
90.
wow.
And 20 of them are attorneys. It's not good. It's really not good.
Well, then I will
And
stop complaining about my 3 vacant positions.
man, and the worst part about it is a lot of those positions were historically in Carson City, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when they've been posting positions in Carson City, nobody's been applying for them. So they had to move a bunch of those historically northern positions down here to this office in Las Vegas. And so there's people sharing offices and all kinds of crazy stuff going on in here because the building, our part of the building anyway, wasn't built to house that many people. Right. So I don't know
Oh,
what they're gonna.
wow.
So we have certain, we have people even in our division in HHS, people that work in their office Tuesday and Thursday, and the other person comes in like Monday, Wednesday. Things like crazy stuff going on that I've just never seen before.
You know what? Our division is having a really hard time up north too. It just, I don't know. It must be. I don't know if people are moving, but a lot of our vacancies are up north.
Really, same thing. Huh?
Yeah.
Sure, doctor.
Okay, let me see if I can Share my screen.
Yep.
Oh, thank you. Good afternoon. We have a few minutes. We usually wait till at least a few minutes after before we start the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you all for attending.
See, apparently we got 2 minutes up there.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I am well.
Good. How was your vacation?
It was really good.
Good.
Would you like to wait a few minutes after before we get started? It's not 1 o'clock yet,
Um,
but it's just about.
Yeah, looks like we might want to wait just a few minutes.
Okay. Madam Chair, looking at the participants, I think we can begin.
All right.
Good afternoon and welcome to the subcommittee meeting for the technical assistance for the Governor's Interagency Advisory Council on Homelessness. This meeting has been publicly noticed in compliance with Nevada's open meeting law. Chair Michelle Fuller-Hellauer will call the meeting to order.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1:02 on May 9th, 2023, and I'd like to call the Nevada Interagency Council on Homelessness Subcommittee for technical assistance to order. Niani, would you please do the roll call?
Yes. Chairwoman Michelle Fuller-Hellauer,
Present.
Karen Van Hest,
Present.
Noga Valdez, Hetty Reed,
Present.
Dr. Pamela Janelle,
Present. Hello, everyone.
Chris Murphy,
Present.
Vice Chair Brooke Page,
I'm here.
Austin Pollard,
Present.
Christy Costa, Blaine Clements,
Present.
Bill Ennis,
Present.
Lorena Loomis, Lorena Loomis,
Here.
Scott Benton,
I am here, thank you.
Madam Chair, we do have quorum.
Wonderful. Okay. Item 2 on our agenda is public comment. This is the first of 2 public comments that we have. No action may be taken upon a matter raised until the matter has been specifically added to an agenda. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. We are now open for public comment. Please unmute yourself and state your name for the council. Do we have any public comment? Not seeing any. I'm going to close this item. Item number 3 is for possible action, discussion and possible approval for minutes from April 11th, 2023, Interagency Council on Homelessness Technical Assistance Subcommittee minutes. Did everybody receive a copy of the minutes? Is there any discussion on the minutes? If not, I will motion approval to I will enter let me get my tongue working in my mouth today. I will receive a motion to approve the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes.
Brooke, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Well, I can't hear you. I don't know if anybody else can.
Can you hear me now? No.
That's better.
Oh. Okay. I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Dr. Pam Janelle, for the record, I second that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate verbally by unmuting yourself and saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed, please indicate by unmuting yourself and saying nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Next agenda item is agenda item number 4. For information only, brief instructions from new members to the Interagency Council on Homelessness to Housing Technical Assistance Subcommittee. So this agenda item, we want to welcome our new members and give them an opportunity to tell us just a little bit about yourselves. So we have Austin Pollard, Christy Costa, Blaine Clemens, Bill Ennis, Lorena Lemons, and Lemos, and Scott Benton. And I apologize for butchering names. So once you introduce yourselves, I will do my very best to make sure that I don't butcher your name in the future. So Austin, you want to go first?
Absolutely. Thank you all for having me. Austin Pollard. I'm the state housing manager for United Healthcare. I also have my own lived experiences with homelessness. That's been kind of my driving passion for the work that I do. And I'll be finished my master's in social work with the University of Nevada in about a week.
Congratulations. Awesome.
That's so
Congratulations and
awesome.
welcome. We're glad to have you. Okay. Christy Costa. But Christy was not with us today, is she? Blaine Clements.
Hi, I'm Blaine. Thank you all for letting me be a part of this. I am a caseworker with the Washoe County Human Services Agency. And I'm a women's manager here, or women's case manager here at the Art Place Women's Shelter. So super excited to be here.
Welcome.
Welcome. We're
Thanks.
glad to have you. Bill Ennis.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Ennis. I am the Director of the Salvation Army here in Mesquite, and also one of the person to points, or whatever you want to call it, for HUD for the homeless here in Mesquite. We are the only facility here in Mesquite that takes care of the homeless. And right now, driving, much to some people's dismay, a driving force behind getting something set up here in Mesquite for a shelter, which we have nothing here in Mesquite for homeless at all. And so our city council is getting tired of hearing me, but I don't care. And so I'm going to keep plugging away for it. Have a bachelor's in business management, master's in business management, and did 42 years in the United States Navy.
Well, Bill, first of all, thank you for your service. And I could take it that you definitely mean business.
I do. I do.
Those business degrees. Okay. Thank you. Just welcome.
Glad to have you on board, Bill.
Thank you.
Lorraine.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Lorena Lemos?
My name is Lorena Lemus.
Lorena, say your last name again, please.
I think she said Lemus.
Lemus?
I wanted to.
We can't hear you, Lorena.
No.
No?
No.
Can you hear me?
It's very faint.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. A little bit better now?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So my name is Lorena Lemus. I am a case management service coordinator at Northern Nevada Hopes here in Reno, Nevada. I am in charge of our housing and our primary care case management teams. And I'm really excited to be a part of this and learn more and see what we can do to help our peoples out there who need help with affordable housing.
Welcome.
Welcome to the team. And Scott Benton.
Hello, hello. I am Scott Benton. I am the Emergency Shelter Director at the Nevada Cares Campus. I work for Volunteers of America. I've had the honor to be at the helm of the shelter since July. Prior to that, I was the Assistant Director of Operations and Compliance for Volunteers of America here in Northern Nevada. Started 6 years ago as a case manager, and my passion has grown since 2017. I'm blessed and privileged to be here with such great people.
Welcome.
Welcome and thank you. You know, something I didn't think about to add to the agenda, and I don't know if we can. I mean, we had the new folks introduce themselves, but we didn't allow for those of us that have been on the Technical Assistance Committee for us to introduce ourselves to the new folks. Are we allowed to do that? Deani, Ryan?
Ryan is on the line. I'm going to say we're allowed to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. I
You're
don't want to
welcome.
get in trouble. You know, you smack my hand enough. I don't want.
No, that's fine.
All right. So who on the committee wants to introduce themselves?
Well, you should go first, Chair.
I should go first. I was thinking I'd go last, but
Oh.
I can go first if you want me to. I'm Michelle Fuller-Hallauer. I serve as the chair of this the subcommittee, and my day job is that I'm a manager here at Clark County Social Service, and essentially oversee homeless service coordination and collaboration in Southern Nevada. So if it has to do with the homelessness, I kind of touch it in one way, shape, or form. But I've been in homeless services for a couple of decades. I'm a social worker, licensed social worker, and have been doing that for over 35 years. So been working with diverse populations for that whole period of time. And yeah, so that's kind of me in a nugget. Brooke, since you're my vice chair, you get to go next.
Okay, with popcorn. My name is Brooke Page. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I just am so grateful to hear the amount of expertise that we're building this machine. It's so great to meet you all. My name is Brooke Page. I am the director for the Southwest Geography for the Corporation for Supportive Housing. We're a national nonprofit, but I work across the Southwest. I'm based in North Las Vegas, and this is my home. So being a part of this committee means a lot to me. My background is in social services. I've worked at Clark County Social Service for a while before coming to CSH, but I also have worked in the justice system in our Department of Corrections, and also at a nonprofit working with At Promise Youth. And so really homelessness and ending homelessness is a passion of mine. So thank you so much. And I'll popcorn it over to Hetty Reed.
Thanks, Brooke. Nice to meet all you new folks. My name's Hetty Reed. I work for the city of Reno. I also have a background in social work. I have direct service experience with folks experiencing homelessness, and then got involved more at the systems level through the coordinated entry system that in Washoe County, and then worked a lot with our COC. And then now the division I work for at the city manages HUD grants. So little varied experience, but definitely passionate about ending homelessness and providing affordable housing opportunities. Karen.
Hi, my name is Karen Van Hest, and I am the Director of Reimbursement and Compliance with Catholic Charities of Northern Nevada here in Reno. And I have had the privilege of working with a lot of homeless, but I was also homeless 4 times in my lifetime with 4 children. So I have a lot that's been quite a while ago since my children are in their early 40s. But it's a privilege to work with everybody and all the new people coming on board. And let's go to Pamela.
Well, all right, Karen, you used my full government name, so I guess I better. Hi, I'm Dr. Pam Janelle. I am actually a homegrown native of Las Vegas, Nevada. I was too short to be a showgirl, so education was, my next career choice. Actually, I was homeless at the age of before 4 years old here in Las Vegas with my mother, brother, and sister, and then I had another sibling. And yeah, there are 2 siblings, and I did go into foster care, and then I aged out of foster care, and actually earned all 3 of my degrees, including my doctorate here in the state of Nevada. So I am a true product of the state. And I am currently the McKinney-Vento State Coordinator for homeless children and youth with the Nevada Department of Education. I'm very proud of that. It's like really full circle for me. And I just count it an honor and a privilege to be amongst all of you. And thank you for sharing your lived experiences. And thank you all for the work that you do, because I am truly like the result of your efforts. So let's keep the party going. Thank you. I don't know who else I need to pick. So I just pick a circle.
Chris would be the, yep.
Bring it home, Chris.
This is Chris Murphy. I'm with the Frontier in Fallon, Nevada, so I'm out in the rural areas. My background, I do have homelessness both in from the period when I was going through college and in early recovery. I am a person of long-term recovery as well. We have been serving homeless individuals and been honored to have the PATH grant since 2003, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2004, but for quite a while. And I just think that a lot of times people are penalized too harshly for choices that they don't have control of. And I think that's I love our homeless population and the people that we get to serve, and very honored to be on this committee to bring whatever experience. My background is actually electronic engineering, and I serve as the grants manager here because I'm good with contracts and numbers. So that's kind of where I like to play. But anyway, that's me in a nutshell. And welcome everybody.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here, for taking the time to come forward and volunteer to be on this subcommittee, and for sharing your experiences and your history, because that's important. It's important as we move forward.
Hey, Michelle,
So-
can I say something real quick?
Please.
I just have to throw a shout out every chance I can. New Frontier saved my life. I went from the streets to that program, and because of them, I wouldn't be here today. So thanks, Chris, for the work you're doing over there.
We are honored. Trust me.
Thank you, Austin. Yeah, and there's phenomenal work happening across the state, and you know, we all have we're all here for our own reasons, right? We all have a passion to be here, and that's exciting because it's our passion that drives us, and that will drive this home, right, and help us to really end homelessness. And that's why I firmly believe that we can do this. It's because of people like you all, that we have the passion. We just need to bring it together and keep the train moving, right? So I'm so happy to have you all here with me, and let's keep this train moving. So with that, let's move to agenda item number 5, I believe we're on. And I believe that we have an informational item from Katrina Grigsby Thedford. She's going to give us an update on the progress for the upcoming state conference on homelessness in Nevada.
Hello, everyone. Oops, that's the wrong presentation. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to end this. So stop sharing. All right. Give me 1 second. I had everything set up and Teams always confuses me. So let's see here. We're going to move this over here, move this over here. And now I think I got it. So let's share again. And let's see what, ooh, I found it. Awesome. Okay. So since I can't see if I'm presenting, I'm going to assume that I am presenting. Can I get a yay? Am I presenting?
Yes, you are.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, you
Awesome. Cool. All right. So today I'm going to present on our 2023 Nevada Statewide Conference on Ending Homelessness. My name is Katrina Grigsby Thedford. And next time, if I ever present here, it'll be Dr. Katrina. So that is as of the 12th, Friday. So I wanted to type it so bad, but I'll wait until I walk across the stage. So let's go to the next slide. So just going to give a brief overview of our previous conference that we held, our inaugural conference, statewide conference on ending homelessness at UNLV last year in September of 2022. It was a sold out event. We held 300 people. It was a 1-day conference. We had a really, really great planning committee that assisted with, just like brainstorming topics and inviting guests and just everything that goes along with having a successful conference, especially a first conference. I think we did really great for our first ever conference, our agency. And, we had a lot of great input from the guests, which will kind of drive the changes that we will be making this year. And I want to thank you, send a thank you to anyone on the call who was part of the planning committee or who attended or presented at the conference last year. Thank you so much for your input and collaboration. So this year, our conference will be held at the University of Nevada, Reno. It will be a 2-day or a day and a half conference on August 15th and 16th. It will be at the Joe Crowley Center, I think it's called. I'm not sure. They just call it the Joe. So I'm trying to get in line with how Reno uses their words to describe things. And so it will be catered by Silver and Blue, I think is the name of their catering agency. I've been working with Frederick Steinman from the Center of Economic Development at UNR. And so he's really helpful with helping me plan and make sure everything is in order. Since it's a 2-day conference, of course, we'll have, breakfast, snacks, and lunch. We're going to be, UNR will be providing parking. Commissioner Alexis Hill is assisting with the hotel discount process. And of course, we have our sponsorship packet that's already been sent out. We have sponsors already. We'll be highlighting ad sponsorships this year. So people can get that 1-page ad. And also there's an opportunity for people in general to donate to the conference to ensure that we are able to engage our people with lived experience at a much higher level than we did last time. So our primary goals, pretty much driven from last year's surveys, is more audience interaction on longer sessions and more opportunities to network on top of the relevant topics, right? And so last year we had, as for panels, we had a town hall with leaders from across the state, rural, Northern Nevada, Southern Nevada, et cetera. That discuss what we're doing to address homelessness in our community. We had a panel that was moderated by Brooke of people with lived experience. We had multiple other breakout groups: jail or diversion, permanent supportive housing. Let's see, we had shelter services. We had representation from the CARES campus, the courtyard here, and non-congregate shelter here at Help of Southern Nevada. We did a family and youth panel, and of course, we had, not of course, but we made sure that we included Eddie's House from Northern Nevada, and we also had NPHY from Southern Nevada and Family Promise. And, in our jail and diversion panel, we had a judge from Northern Nevada talking about what Northern Nevada, or Reno specifically, is doing as it relates to individuals who are homeless. So it was a statewide conference. It just happened to be held in Las Vegas. And just so you know, in the even years, this conference will be in Southern Nevada, and in odd years, it will be in Northern Nevada. So our goal is to make sure this is a Nevada statewide conference, and to make sure that we include individuals from across the state as well as national partners. So those were some of the topics that we discussed last year. And this year, we're gonna, with the planning committee, we're just brainstorming on different topics. We had one meeting, and I've been brainstorming through email with a lot of planning committee members, and things such as Eddie's House helps 18 and over, and there's like a gap in services for youth 12 to 17 up north, and maybe having our Southern Nevada folks talk about how we got to where we are to assist those individuals under 18. I toured our place in Reno, and I toured CARES campus when I was in Reno a couple weeks ago, and I toured Eddie's House and a couple other places. So I'm just really excited about our place and the work they're doing over there. We're going to make sure that we have some diversity and equity topics this conference because we didn't last time. I am considering presenting about a partnership I have with the Nevada Department of Corrections to ensure to the best of our ability and within our limitations that individuals are not discharged to homelessness. So that's really exciting. We were thinking about inviting Nevada Grant Labs, and we've been talking to them because I think it'd be great to have some a breakout or session about grant writing, grant budgeting, things like that, right? To just have a wide variety of options as it relates to breakouts for people to attend. Of course, we're going to do something more creative this year with our people with lived experience. So Southern Nevada has a Lived X Consultants working group, and we were just awarded, or I don't know if the word is awarded, or we won the bid for the Lived Experience Advisory Board in Washoe County. Nevada Homeless Alliance will be assisting Washoe County with creating their advisory board. And so we're going to make sure that people with lived experience are implemented, included, and valued throughout the conference, all the way from planning throughout the conference in general. So that's just some of the topics that we're considering, as well as Until Nofo. And I want to do something more detailed with the rural folks this year, as well as we just had, I think, a person from the rural COC on a panel, and I think it'd be great to have, a breakout hour-and-a-half session to talk about some of those gaps and barriers and best practices that are happening in the rural areas this year. So, of course, this time will be a day-and-a-half conference. It'll be on a Tuesday and Wednesday. We are considering starting a little later on day one, like 10 a.m. Just looking at travel, there's really early flights from Vegas to Northern Nevada. And then, of course, day two would be an 8 to noon or 9 to noon schedule. So we currently do have a planning committee. I'm sorry, let me stop this phone. And our planning committee is primarily tasked with assisting with, what we're going to do about marketing, our branding, advertising, and sponsorship. So also with speakers, panels, and breakouts. I've sent requests early April for the Secretary of HUD, for Ann Olivia from National Alliance, as well as Jeff Olivet from USICH. And then I've been hearing from Northern Nevada folks that Governor Sandoval may be a good speaker as well. And so we're just thinking about all those different options. And so our planning committee will be brainstorming relevant topics and panel members. We're going to be, our presentation submission link will go live on Monday so that individuals in Northern Nevada, rural, or Southern Nevada can submit their ideas to present, and then we'll be choosing the ones that are most relevant to what our theme will be. And then, of course, our planning committee will be helping with the physical layout and the order of events. So this is really brief. And so, how you guys can assist is sharing conference info with your networks. You can feel free to join our planning committee, or you can share ideas with me via email. But one big thing that I thought would be great for this conference is, since you guys are working on, I don't know if it's called the statewide strategic plan. I'm not sure of the actual name, but I know there is a plan, because Michelle has mentioned it, that the NVICH is working on. And I thought it would be great to have that at our conference, as it is a statewide conference, just to see how can we implement that. Should that be something for the full conference? Should that be a breakout? And I think it's just really important that people on the ground that may not know that we have this plan is at least informed about what's in it, or maybe have the opportunity to provide some input, or wherever you guys are with the plan at that time in August. I think it would be great to highlight that in this conference. And so that's all I got. And so more to come. We've only had one planning meeting, and I've been to Reno a couple times, just talking to the commissioners and other individuals, and meeting with UNLV. And so I'm just in that planning mode. And of course, I'll be in Reno a lot more, and I hope to meet some of you, as I'll be there twice a month, every month until the conference. to meet with and interview people at the CARES campus for the Lived Experience Advisory Board, as well as to meet with partners in UNLV to discuss conference planning. So a lot of you guys, I wrote your names down and hope to meet you guys one day soon. So I am done. Michelle, your hand's up.
Oh, I didn't mean for it to be up.
Oh,
Oh,
did you say
but-
hi?
But thank you, Katrina.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Do we have any questions for Katrina?
Hi, Katrina.
Hi.
This is Brooke.
Hi, Brooke.
Hi. Thank you so much for that awesome overview. Super excited for the second annual
Yay.
conference in homelessness. Congratulations on your degree. I was curious about if one of these awesome folks, considering the expertise on this panel, how could they get in contact with you to get access to being a part of the planning of the conference?
They can email me at, should I just drop it in the chat? I'll drop it in the chat.
I don't think we have a chat, unfortunately.
Chat is turned off for this meeting. So director@nevadahomelessalliance.org, or you can just go to our website, nevadahomelessalliance.org, and just contact us and send an email through that, and I will receive it.
Great. Katrina, could you send us the or send me the PowerPoint you just did, and I'll make sure that it gets into our minutes. That way everybody has access to that and the information as well.
Okay, and so tickets will go on sale June 1st. This conference will be $75 for a 2-day conference, right? Maybe in 2035, it'll be $875 like the National Alliance. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, we are so, and I'll make sure, excuse me, that I send Michelle the updates and things like that, and she can share it along with you guys, with the subcommittee members.
I do have Michelle Fuller-Hallauer for the record. I do have a question or suggestion. You did ask about the state plan.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And doing something. I'm wondering, and this may be a question, I don't know if it's for you or maybe even the rest of the committee, of maybe doing some type of a focus group activity, something where we can get some feedback, right? From folks that are in attendance at the conference, to help us to populate the plan, right? And get some input, not necessarily into where we are now, on what's happening in the COCs, but kind of the next step, right? To fill in what we need to do that we aren't doing, right? And what those action steps are that need to happen throughout the state. I mean, we'll have folks from from various levels, you know, from people with lived experience to people that are working in the trenches to folks that are in supervisory roles, to people in management, to folks that are in other sectors as well. So I think that, you know, it's a great opportunity that we would be remiss if we didn't, you know, step in and gather some information from those folks. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm just wondering what the rest of you think. That was a question. So, and you have to unmute to respond. So please.
Hello, Dr. Pam Janelle for the record. And I know y'all know I don't have a poker face, so Lady Gaga, sorry, honey. I'm just so like over the moon and excited, but my heart is just like it hit the floor when I realized that I missed the very first one. So I'm just really excited to see one that you have extended this conference to 2 days, because clearly there's never enough hours in the day, right? And I do appreciate that you are doing the odd even where you're going to the campuses. That is also truly that's, you know, it makes so much sense. So thank you for that. I would love to see our group because of the amazing work that we did, and also just, you know, where we are in terms of like the state and moving some initiatives forward. I would like to see our group present, you know, something on at least the work that we've done and some of the next steps as part of, you know, this work that Dr. I'm going to go on and say it, Dr. Grisby Thedford has put forth. This is one of those opportunities where, you know, we as an organization can really, you know, speak to the work we're doing as a part of the collective of not only addressing homelessness, but ending it.
Thank you. So, I mean, you know, just me having a point of contact to just be informed. Oh, Brooke is in this group and she's on the planning committee. Sorry to put you out there. How and if you guys plan on participating, I think that would be great. And then we can also discuss, should it be for the full conference? Should it be a breakout special session? They have a theater that we can use that hosts 200, and maybe another session can be going on. It just kind of depends on like where we think it fits. Is it a more intimate conversation where it should be less people in the room? Should it be a certain track open for anyone? So you guys can figure out those logistics, and then Brooke can just let the planning committee know what you guys are thinking, and we can 100%. I want it in there, and I hope you guys vote yes and be there. So.
Yeah, Dr. Pam Janelle, for the record, it is a beautiful facility. And I did get my first degree from there. So I'm just planning on taking a break when I go.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments for Katrina?
I have a question.
Sure.
Am I able to stay and watch the other presentations, or do I have to leave?
No, this is an open meeting. You're welcome to stay.
Awesome. Okay, I'll stay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So moving on to agenda item number 6. For information only, Brooke Page will do an update on legislative bills that impact homelessness in the state of Nevada. Brooke.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chair Fuller Hollauer. Hi, everyone. I definitely am excited this year. This is the first year that I've really been engrossed in the legislative process because of the bill that we're working on in partnership with the Nevada Housing Coalition. And just a plug, if you haven't heard of the Nevada Housing Coalition, I would highly recommend that you research that. It's a statewide advocacy organization that's focused on housing, which housing is an important element to ending homelessness. And they have a policy committee that actually tracks housing related bills. But I did some research for this group just to kind of identify bills that are impacting homelessness specifically. If it had homelessness in the bill draft, I pulled it up just to kind of go over it with you all. But you know, definitely want to plug, because the Housing Coalition has a machine, has, you know, a lot of resources that are being put to being active at the legislature and being able to testify on behalf of bills. And so, you know, us as a committee and folks in the state that care about homelessness, care about housing, it's really definitely a great organization to be a part of. So with that being said, I have a spreadsheet that I just want to kind of go over with you the bills that I'm tracking and kind of those that have died, those that are still active, just to kind of educate you all on what bills are currently impacting homeless response. So I'm going to share this spreadsheet. And so right now, and sorry, it's a little small. Let me see if I can make this bigger. So I'm just going to go through this at a high level. I don't the one that I will talk a little bit about is the AB 310 that I wrote as far as a policy legislation, and it's one that I think could be a really important tool, and especially because there's still activity that needs to happen with this bill. I think it's important for everybody on this call to know about AB 310. But these are the bills that are still alive. The green means they're still active. They're still moving through the ledge. The red means they died at some point. Either they didn't get a hearing or they weren't approved to move out of committee and didn't meet the deadlines. And so the first one here, AB 217, it revises provisions governing higher education. So there's a lot of policy bills that impact homeless youth. And so this is one of those bills that, you know, if you don't have a Nellis account, I would highly recommend getting a Nellis account. It's one you can track up to 10 bills on your own. You'll get notified every night if that bill moves, if it dies, and kind of where the status is, and just to kind of keep a pulse. So if any of these are of interest to you, definitely go and get a Nellis account so you can track your free 10 bills. But this one's definitely focused on education. Yeah, so Dr. Pam, this might be one that you might be interested in, but it revises provisions relating to post-secondary education for homeless people within the Nevada higher education system. And so giving waiver and like fee waivers for youth experiencing homelessness, this bill would provide that opportunity. So being carried by a lot of legislators. The next bill, AB 135, revises provisions relating to homelessness. And so this one is an act relating to homelessness. It revises the process for persons who are homeless to apply for a certified or an official copy of their birth certificate, and requiring the Nevada Housing Crisis Response System to assist people in crisis who are applying for a state ID card, revising requirements for the issuance of state ID cards, to certain homeless children and youth, requiring certain counties to develop a strategic plan to address homelessness. So this is that strategic plan component. This would require that local jurisdictions do this specifically around homelessness and providing other matters properly there too. So this is still active, still moving forward. It's actually being carried by Health and Human Services. They had a joint committee that met in the interim session before the legislative session. And so this is their bill that they're moving forward. So definitely worth tracking that if you care about ID cards and all the things. This next one, AB 195, it's an act relating to offenders. And I think this is one that I believe Katrina actually has some work on this one. Katrina, I believe, correct me if this is not the one, but I know that there is work happening here that provides provisions for people that are exiting the justice system and people that have prior justice involvement, to have fee waivers and access to getting their driver's license, to be able to get access to, getting, their records or getting information related to reducing those fees if that's a barrier for folks, requiring the department to reinstate the free of charge a driver's license or to provide an original renewal. So there's more around like supporting people removing barriers if they need to get access to IDs, access to driver's license. And I believe there's a provision in this one that Katrina is working on that provides that the Department of Corrections needs to track where someone, if they're coming from a homeless experience, that they need to track in the jail, in the Department of Corrections, that this person's prior residence was homeless. And if they're exiting to a homeless destination, that be tracked too. So we actually have data to sort of understand how many people are entering the homeless response system that's experiencing homelessness. So I believe this is the bill.
That's AB 32.
Oh, AB 32. Okay,
Yes,
thank
ma'am.
you so much. So that's a different
But
one.
you stated it correctly. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. So AB 32, I got to add that to my list. So that's the one to track the Department of Corrections and people experiencing homelessness. Thank you, Katrina, for advocating for that population to make sure we understand and have a better sense of the inflows into homelessness. Okay, the next one, SB 317. And so this one is an act relating to public welfare, authorizing a provider of homeless services to authorize the use of the provider's address as a temporary mailing address by a person experiencing homelessness for certain purposes, and requiring the Division of Welfare and Supportive Services to publish a list of such providers and providing other matters thereto. So this is an ability for people experiencing homelessness to have an address and be able to and use a service provider as that address if that's required. AB 194 died. This was an act relating to education, revises provisions governing the suspension, expulsion, or permanent expulsion of a pupil. And so this was a bill that kind of impacted youth experiencing homelessness. That was in this bill, but mostly around education. So as of the record in Nellis, it died. I believe there's an opportunity for bills to get introduced, or maybe as an omnibus bill be put into something else. But as of right now, this one is not moving. AB 330 revises provisions governing the suspension or expulsion of certain pupils. So this is where if there's provisions in AB 194 that may get rolled into AB 330, but they have similar intent. SB 155 is an act relating to homeless persons, prohibiting a county board of commissioners and the city council or other governing body of an incorporated city from enacting and enforcing ordinances that discriminate against a homeless person and providing other matters thereto. So this is like a Bill of Rights type of legislation for people experiencing homelessness, SB 155. And next to it, I put the legislators. So that's Senator Ornshaw that's sponsoring that bill. SB 400. This is an act relating to public welfare. It revises provisions governing the duties of a reinvestment advisory committee that exists currently. It revises provisions governing contracts entered into by the Department of Health and Human Services for the operation of a Medicaid managed care program. And it requires the continuums of care to establish a fiscal working group requiring the transmission of a portion of the proceeds of the licensing fee for certain gaming licenses to the continuums of care in the state and providing other matters there too. So this one I do have some information on just because I was given information by Senator Neal, brought me in to ask some questions. And so this bill actually would provide resources to continuums of care to address crisis response. Most teams, outreach teams, crisis response teams, transitional housing, emergency shelters, and supportive housing. They would like to move money using the gaming licensing resources and reappropriate that and target it for homelessness. So utilizing the continuums of care as the body to administer those funds because of the existing infrastructure that's already set up with our COCs, the diverse various different diverse people that sit at the helm of a COC to kind of help administer and make sure that those resources are used to address homelessness is the intent of this bill. So it's still active, and I think it moved into the Money Committee. It's in Senate Finance. So that's being sponsored by Senator Neal. Okay, AB 310. This is the bill that I am very intimately involved in. It's an act relating to affordable housing, requiring the Housing Division and to develop and implement a supportive housing grant program, creating the Nevada Supportive Housing Development Fund and the State Treasury, and making an appropriation. We're asking for $32 million to actually fund this supportive housing development fund, and it would essentially be a pool of resources that anybody that's developing supportive housing, if they're a developer, if they have existing scattered site or single site types of permanent housing, and they need case management services, if they need ongoing tenancy support services to support folks getting access to housing or staying stably housed, they can apply to the Nevada Housing Division and receive resources for out of this pool. So it's intended to fund services and be a gap fill. Right now, we don't have a dedicated funding source. Whereas, if we had like a tenancy support services benefit with Medicaid, that would fund this type of work. But until we have that, this is intended to be a gap fill until that is created. It also provides capacity building for the field of supportive housing. So property managers, developers, service providers can be trained to make sure that they're doing quality supportive housing. And then also it provides outcomes tracking. We want to be able to show the cost effectiveness of supportive housing. So it provides an opportunity to track who maybe somebody was cycling in and out of high cost systems. They were in and out of the jail, in and out of the emergency rooms. This would be able to track those folks if they now are stably housed, and kind of show the cost benefit of them being stably housed and how much they may or may not be accessing those crisis response systems. So Assemblywoman Danielle Monroe Monreno is the sponsor on that one. Okay, SB 68 is another bill that is called the Critical Needs Fund. And this one is actually the bill that's being sponsored by the Clark Regional Behavioral Health Policy Board. They brought this bill forward, and it creates the Needs Fund, which authorizes money to be used for certain purposes relating to very low income housing, supportive housing, and supportive services, and requires distribution of a certain portion of a real estate tax to be able to fund ongoing services. So whereas AB 310 is a one-time 32 million, SB 68 would be a tax that would be moved, that part of the real estate tax would fund this in perpetuity. So it's an ongoing resource to fund housing for very low, extremely low income households. AB 136 is an act relating to child welfare, requiring all qualified residential treatment programs for children to be licensed and regulated as child care institutions, and providing other matters there too. So this one, kind of homeless related, but I put that in here. AB 176 is no longer moving forward, but this was an act relating to housing, prohibiting discrimination in housing. So this is that source of income bill that we keep bringing forward every legislative session to kind of prevent folks from being discriminated against if they have a housing choice voucher or if they've got Social Security. Sometimes those funding sources, it's difficult to house folks that have very limited incomes. And so this would have been a bill to help protect folks who have various different sources of income, but that didn't move forward. Okay, so AB 32, I'm going to start tracking that one. Thank you, Katrina. But this is currently what I'm tracking. And I also just wanted to share with you all, this is kind of a list. If you're a part of the Nevada Housing Coalition, you would get weekly updates on the bills that they're tracking. So their bills are very much focused on housing and the bills that impact any kind of affordable housing. So there's a lot of bills on this list that you would get updated on, which is a benefit to being a part of the coalition. All right, so that was my little spill. Takeaways: get a Nexus account, track 10 of those that you like, and let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Brooke.
Yeah.
All right, any questions for Brooke? Brooke, if somebody wanted to do something other than or more than getting a Nellis account, if they had something that they wanted to make comment on and weren't sure how to go about doing that for one of these bills, what would they do?
So in Nellis, you're able to also make comments, and you can go in and put if you're in support of a bill. If you have an account, you can register and kind of put in counts. And so Nellis will also tell you when the bill is up for a hearing. You'll get notified of that. And so if you want to testify in support of, against, or if you're neutral and you want to go on record, just kind of specifying your views on that particular policy or legislation, highly recommend going into Nellis. You can put your information and you can call in or be present at either Grant Sawyer if you're down south, or go to the legislature and to the hearing at Carson City and actually testify. Or you can call in. A lot of the committees have a phone that you can call into. So yeah, but you get all that in Nellis. It tells you when the bill is up for a hearing.
Hetty Reed, for the record, just want to say thanks, Brooke, for your work on AB 310. I think that's a really exciting opportunity, and I really hope it goes through.
Thank you so much.
That we get a fund in perpetuity eventually.
Yeah, both SB 68, AB 310, permanent housing. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. It's a lot of hard work.
Anything else? Yeah, thank you so much, Brooke. That was a great presentation. Really appreciate that. When does, I should know this, but when does the session end? We're coming
So
up
we've got
on
28 days left of the 82nd legislative session. So another good thing at Nellis, like I'm looking at that because it's at the top of the Nellis banner when you register. It tells me so Sani Dai, today's May 9th. So in 28 days, and it includes weekends. You have 28 days left. Yep. And then it's Sani Dai.
Okay, so at our next meeting, maybe, do you think you might be able to
Give an
give
update.
us an update on where some of these bills landed, if any of them passed, and kind of what we might expect moving forward?
Yeah, especially that continuum of care bill, SB 400. A lot of folks on this committee represent or are part of your local continuums of care, and that bill would provide additional resources that right now may be just limited to HUD COC funding, whereas this would give other resources to do what might be held at kind of pigeonholed with HUD dollars that we can braid and have other resources to do some flexible, innovative work around homelessness. So I think that one's a good one to track.
Not just resources, but we would need to, each of the COCs would need to think about how are they going to create a fiscal
Work group.
a fiscal work group, and what does that look like, and moving forward, and how are they going to manage the funding and all of that. So yeah, that will be very interesting as we move forward. So but exciting. So
yep, California did it. KESH is a program that the COCs administer from the state. So there's some precedents around that, but yeah.
That's great. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to close that item and we will move on to agenda item number 7 for information only. We'll receive an update from Chair Michelle Fuller-Heller. Oh, that's me. From the state COC meeting, and I'm going to actually ask my partners in crime that are on this on the call and on our subcommittee that were also at the state meeting to chime in if there's things that I leave out or don't mention that should be brought up regarding our statewide COC meeting. So on April 19th, we had our second our statewide COC meeting. So just to kind of get context. So we have 3 COCs throughout the state. One is Southern Nevada, which is the boundaries of the county of Clark. And then the Northern Nevada COC, which is Washoe County, Reno, Sparks. And then the rural Nevada is everybody else. All the other counties of the state. So 3 COCs, and they all have kind of the responsibility to collaboratively apply for HUD Continuum of Care funding and have other responsibilities under the Hearth Act. But we recognize, we being the leads of the 3 COCs, recognize that there are, even though we have vast differences amongst the 3 COCs, because our geography is a bit different, and the way that we operate our COCs in some aspects are different. There are a lot of commonalities and similarities across the COCs, and there are a lot of lessons learned. So there are things that we can capitalize on, and there are things that we can utilize synergy across the COCs. So since 2006, we have actually been meeting the 3 COCs have been meeting at least once a year, in many cases up to 4 times a year. And it ebbs and flows as far as how many people meet during those, statewide meetings. Sometimes it's just 3 of us, and sometimes it's, 50 of us that meet. And we have gone from just phone meetings to in-person meetings to virtual meetings, like Zoom and Teams and all that stuff. So, anyway, we have a standing twice a year meeting at this point that we get together. So this on April 19th was one of our twice a year meetings. We generally meet in April and October-ish. So that's kind of what I'm reporting back on. So I did a report back on this group and our strategic plan and where we're at, kind of what the stage we're at as far as collecting data, and the kind of the charge that the champions have been given to collect information from the COCs, and then what our plan is moving forward so that we can develop out the strategic plan action plan. We did COC updates from each of the COCs on the COC consolidated application process, what that looked like, what was awarded in each of the 3 COCs, what was awarded in the unsheltered NOFO competition for those that applied for the unsheltered NOFO and were those that received the unsheltered NOFO, and how the 2023 point in time count went for each of the 3 COCs. The data for the HUD official reporting from the COCs was due 2 weeks ago, and so that has been submitted to HUD officially, and the Northern Nevada just released their results. Rural Nevada is hoping to release their results in the near future. Southern Nevada will be releasing their results sometime this summer. We talked about the EHV vouchers and how each of the communities are doing in doing lease up for the EHVs. We did talk about the legislative bills and what we're looking at for or some of the bills that were relevant for the homeless services and for each of the COCs, and the coordinated entry. We discussed what coordinated entry was looking like in each of the 3 COCs. For everybody's information, we now are using the same tool, assessment tools for adults without children and for families across the state. So everybody is now using the chat, the community housing assessment tool, and the family chat across the whole state. So that has been, a shift that has happened over the last year. So everybody is using that. So it was just a check-in on where we were with that. And at that point, I had to duck out of the meeting because I had another meeting that I needed to get to. Hetty, you were at that meeting, weren't you? Yeah.
I wasn't able to be there.
So I think the remainder of the meeting, they talked about HMIS and HMIS updates, where they were and gave an update of the HMIS statewide HMIS work group. Any questions? Is there anybody else that was there at the statewide meeting? And since I'm here doing a presentation for the statewide COC, I'm going to open it up to anybody else that's on the line that was at the statewide COC meeting that wants to help me out here because I'm floundering. Don't put that in the minutes, Niani.
Hello, Madam Chair. This is Stacy DeNicola at the City of Henderson. Thank you for opening
Stacy.
up the thank you for opening this up so that I could chime in. You did a great job with your overview, Michelle. There was really not much else that you missed after you got off the meeting. There were just some brief updates that BitFocus shared on HMIS. And then we just had some general announcements. And some upcoming conferences. And, you know, we got some more information from Katrina at that statewide meeting about the upcoming statewide conference. And then it adjourned shortly after that. So nothing much that you missed, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Thanks for having my back.
Always.
Any questions from anybody? Stacy can answer them. No questions? All right, we will move on. The next item is for informational item. Chris Murphy, Hattie Reed, and myself will update on the progress from the COCs on the document to elicit information to help with the Nevada Strategic Plan on Homelessness. So if you will recall, at our last meeting, we went over a spreadsheet, Brooke and Miani and her team worked on to take our strategic plan and the goals, the strategic issues and the goals, put them in a nice spreadsheet and kind of identified what we were looking for. And we broke them up by COC, Northern Nevada, rural or rural Nevada and Southern Nevada. And then we sent those out to the COC or the champions for each of the COCs. And we were charged with working with the COCs and the other systems within our geographic area to start populating those Excel spreadsheets with what is taking place currently or that we anticipate taking place in our COC catchment area and how they're capturing that data so that we have a record of what is already taking place so that we're not duplicating efforts. So with that, Chris, do you have an update for us?
Yes, for the record, this is Chris Murphy. I did forward that to Mary Jane. She's our chair of the Rural Nevada Continuum of Care. And we are scheduled to have a strategic planning retreat on June 7th. My update.
Thank you. Just taking notes. And Hetty.
Yeah, Hetty Reed for the record. I went through the spreadsheet with Katrina Peters, the coordinator for the Northern Nevada COC. I sent back the information that we gathered together. We found that a lot of stuff is not necessarily in the COC strategic plan, but a lot of the work is happening maybe in some outside groups. So we captured that in that spreadsheet. The Northern COC has moved to having an annual strategic plan. So it did bring up some conversation of what could be in the next plan or the next phase of the plan as we start working through some of these issues. And then I'd say just in a broader sense, a lot of affordable housing issues aren't really tackled by the COC. It's happening in other groups up here in the north. So that was just something of note. And then we didn't have a lot of information on incarceration and those issues that are in the strategic plan. So that was maybe an area where we can find some other partners to work with up here.
Thank you. And I'll give my update for Southern Nevada. I am on the agenda for our Southern Nevada Homelessness COC board for Thursday, this coming Thursday, to give them to present the spreadsheet and ask for feedback. We are doing a live link and asking for all of our stakeholder partners to help us complete the Excel spreadsheet, because we recognize that, you know, there's so much work that's happening that doesn't happen just in the structure, right, or the confines of the collaborative applicant, or even just the COC, that there's so many, you know, ancillary things that are taking place that we want to capture in the statewide plan. So we want to make sure that we get that information out far and wide, and we want the folks to be able to go in and enter that information. So the first stop of my dog and pony show is at the COC board meeting, and the next stop will be at the CCCJCC, which is the Clark County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council, and I will be asking them to do the same thing. And then I will be reaching out also to our regional behavioral health board and asking them the same thing. So just kind of getting it out there to, you know, far and wide, and giving folks access to the link and asking them to go in and fill out what's appropriate and it's relevant to them, so that we can get that information from all of our partners and relevant stakeholders, so that we can find out from folks who's doing what, where, when, how, and fill that in, because it's not always on, as Hetty mentioned, it's not always on the shoulders of the COC, but it's relevant, right, to the work that we're doing. And so we need to know who's doing what. So that's my report. Any questions, comments? None? You all still paying attention? Okay, just checking.
This is Dr. Pam Janelle for the record. A lot of information, a lot of good information. So I'm processing it all.
All right. If y'all have no questions, we will close this item and we will move on to agenda item 9. Discussion of agenda items for our next meeting, which is June 13th. So what do we want on our next agenda? Get your notepad ready, Neoni. Neoni, your hand is up.
Yes, Madam Chair. I just want to make sure before we get started, we will have a Vice Chair Brooke present on the updates for the legislative bills. And then will we continue with an update from the champions? Will that be a recurring item? Okay, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. What else would we like on the June agenda?
I'm wondering if in June there'll be the close of the legislative session, if that's when the ICHH will reconvene, Niani, and if we should receive like an updates on our role in reporting to the ICHH larger committee, or kind of how that interface will work.
Yes, so the ICHH has a scheduled meeting for June 21st. I'm pretty sure I emailed our Madam Chair to present an update during that meeting on what the TA has been doing.
Okay, so we shouldn't, and then the chair come back and tell us about the ICHH meeting, or as an update?
Sure.
Well, that meeting, remember, so your meeting is June 13th and their meeting is June 21st. So that would have to be,
For July.
yes, yes.
Trying to see if it's on my calendar because I don't remember. You probably sent that a while ago, right?
No, Madam Chair, I think I sent it this morning. Just,
Oh, well.
by the end of this month, I will have additional staff.
Okay, what else? I want root beer floats at our next meeting. What else do we want on our agenda? Don't put that on the minutes, Yanni.
I won't. Last meeting, I think someone asked if the numbers would be updated for the pit count by then.
Southern Nevada won't have theirs out yet.
Okay.
Well, I would like to propose that we discuss the champion conversation, maybe readdress that now that we've got our new members that are a part of this committee to kind of divvy out our strategic plan and help us kind of identify who can champion each section and start getting some more targeted work around the strategic plan.
So that would be a discussion item.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have anything they want on the June agenda?
This is Pam Chanel for the record. I was curious about the conference that was presented earlier. Maybe have some discussion around any contributions and collaborations with that. Thank you.
Yeah, to that idea, that's a great idea. And I think that if folks would think about that between now and then and come back with some ideas. What, do we want to do a breakout? Do we want to do focus groups? Do we want to do an activity throughout the whole 2 days? Do we want to do a couple of different things? An informational session and a information gathering session or event or something to that effect? What does that look like?
See, Madam Chair, I was paying attention.
Okay, you redeemed yourself. All right. Anybody else? Okay, Niani, can you do a quick brief of what you have there for our agenda?
Yes, and this is in no particular order. So discussion on conference participation, breakout sessions, focus groups, activity, informational session, informational gathering session. The next item would be, and the wording may be a little different once the agenda is written. The next item is assign targeted work for the strategic plan among all TA members. The next item is champion update, which is a reoccurring item. And the last item I have is Vice Chair Brooke Page will give a legislative update. Did I have that correct, Madam Chair?
Yes, you did. I'm wondering if the legislative update should be a information and discussion in the event that there might be next steps that need to come out of whatever happens with the legislative session.
Okay, I will add that language.
I don't know that we'll need to vote on anything necessarily, but there might be some discussion that needs to that we need to have take place. Okay, anything else? New members, you can speak up. You're welcome to speak up. Y'all are pretty quiet.
For the record, this is Bill Ennis. I'm just looking forward to the root beer floats. Don't put that in the minutes, please. I'm, being out here in Mesquite with our situation out here, I'm just, again, as I believe Austin said, I'm just privileged and honored, and Blaine said also, to be on this board. But we have a lot of work to do out here in southern rural Nevada, as most, especially you, Madam Chair, know.
Yes. Okay, so if there is nothing else that folks want on the agenda, I'm going to go ahead and close this item. And we will go on to agenda item number 10. This is the second of public comments for this meeting. No action may be taken upon a matter raised under this item of the agenda until the matter itself has been specifically included on an agenda as an item upon which action may be taken. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please unmute yourself and state your name for the record. Is there any public comment? Okay. Last call for public comment. Seeing none, hearing none. Then I will say it is 2:27 on May 9th, 2023. And we had an awesome meeting. And I think that we had a lot of great information. But I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank
Guys, have a
you.
great rest of the
Thank you
month.
so much. It was great to see you all.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congrats to the new members. Welcome.
Almost everyone is out. Hey, great meeting. And yes, I think I just sent you an email today about the ICH meeting.
Okay.
And it wasn't even the actual invite. I think it's just asking if you would, because that's, I think, a standing item on their agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Okay.
it is. I just don't remember seeing the email. And I was like, okay. Sure.
Oh, goodness.
But
I'm
I was
just
I was out of town all last week. I was in DC
okay.
For National Alliance and Homelessness Leadership Council. So I was
Okay.
there and on the Hill and meeting with the staffers for the THUD uh, for the Senate and the House. And so yeah, I was busy.
Okay, so I'm waiting for one more contact to get back to me about a presentation that he wanted to put on. So we'll see how that works. But I'll get our agenda done because yours, the TA has to be posted before that one, or at least at the same time. And then I'll get that ICH agenda done. And once that happens, I'll put you on the mailing list for that.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
And
Great meeting.
Okay.
I'll work on the minutes. Just me chugging along. So.
No problem. And you know not to put like my offhanded.
Absolutely, yes.
I mean, one of your past folks put all of my little comments in there. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I know, no. This actually would have been a good meeting to train on what, but so hopefully, definitely by June, I think yeah. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed at this point.
Hey, I'm a good test subject, I guess, for I mean, either you like me and my style or you don't, right? Because I'm definitely not the prim and proper, keep it just bland, because I have a real, I can do it, but I have a really hard time.
I mean, I guess it's going on 2 years with me in this position, and I'm just the amount that you've done in the short time that you've been chair. So your formula is working to move to getting the work done. So it's going great. We'll see. I'm looking forward to getting the ICH going again. We'll see how that goes. This body is definitely the driving force, though. So, all righty. You will hear from me maybe by the end of the week with the minutes, or maybe by next week.
All right.
Okay. Thank
Have
you,
a great one.
Michelle. You too.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.